Hi Leo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Cross spread as always, and I'll also put an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys, but we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, let's see what we get. Okay, so we have Neptune, and that's actually in Pisces, which is your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. We have Gemini, which is your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes. And we have 12, so 12th house energy for you guys, that's Cancer. Nothing really going on there, astrologically speaking, but we'll keep those in mind as we go through the spread. Between that and the Neptune energy, you could just have a lot of thoughts going on in your mind and maybe not feeling quite ready to express them yet. But in the main situation position, we have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, and the Three of Swords, which is Libra energy. So I could see this playing out a few different ways. This can be, you're looking at a financial disappointment that you guys might have undergone recently. For a lot of you, given that these two cards came out the way they did, I feel like for the majority of you, the Three of Swords has already happened. Because to me, it's like he's looking right at that. You know, taking a deep dive and seeing, okay, what went wrong, how to go wrong, why to go wrong, right? So I feel like there's a deep analysis there. So for some of you, this could be around disappointments around finances, possibly even a communication that might have gone off the rails that you're reevaluating. With that in mind, I will mention that toward the end of September, we're going to have Mercury retrograde in Libra, which is your 3rd house communication. So there's definitely going to be that potential for some miscommunication there. Especially, you know, Mercury's going to be in shadow most of September. So just keep that in mind anyway. And for others of you, this could just be looking at romantic disappointments as well. So I could see that playing out a few different ways. In the challenge or obstacle position, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So let's talk about this from a few different angles. Given I just mentioned a romantic angle, with this coming up in reverse, could just be saying that some of you might be ready now to enter into a new relationship. So because of that, you might be looking at past situations that went wrong, right? And trying to see, okay, maybe I'm interested in pursuing a relationship now. Let me look at what went wrong in the past relationship so I don't repeat those situations again, right? Which is obviously a pretty logical thought process to have. For some of you, this is around a financial disappointment. With this coming up in reverse, it could just be saying that maybe you guys might need to try to take a little bit of time to appreciate what you already have, you know. So it could just be this constant focus on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, to where you never actually take the time to enjoy where you're at in the present moment. So that could be why you feel like whatever goal you're trying to reach for is eluding you. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this combination. Well, I will say around this time during Virgo season, there's going to be a full moon in Pisces, which is your 8th house of investment. And like I said, we did see the Neptune energy coming up there. So just keep an eye on your investments this month too. All right. In the foundation position, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, this could be what's at play there, especially for those of you who, like I said, if this is around a romantic connection, maybe you have a new opportunity at play, or you're thinking of extending an offer to someone, and that could be what's causing this to pop up in your mind. Like, okay, I have this opportunity on the table. Let me look at the situation and see, you know, am I truly ready for it? So on the one hand, it's a pretty responsible outlook to have, but, you know, I feel like there's just the concern of overdoing it a little bit too. So just be mindful of that. All right, in the past position, we have the Lovers. So this is the Major Arcana card for Gemini. For some of you, this could even be something that might have taken place during Gemini season, especially given that that was the last Mercury retrograde we had too. So now, you know, it could just be as simple as now that we could be having that next Mercury retrograde, especially in Libra, the house of relationships. Could just be having you guys looking at a situation again, maybe from a different perspective. But yeah. Aside from that, could just be saying that there might have been opportunities, at least one, possibly multiple opportunities brought your way in the past, and for whatever reason you might have overlooked them, possibly because there was still something you were healing from your past. And if this is around finances as well, it could just be saying that the key might be to look at the groups you're associating with, because there might have been a new group you've been dealing with recently that might actually have a good opportunity for you. So just keep that in mind. All right, in the present position, we have the Six of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. So yeah, for a lot of you, it looks like this would be repairing an existing connection that might have gone through some issues, because this does tend to point to reconciliation. Now, I do have to say, given that for you guys, Scorpio energy is your fourth house too, this could be around a family connection, or possibly even it was a connection where you guys were pretty close to where you often slept over with each other, things along those lines, maybe even lived together at one point. But that's what I'm seeing there. And for others of you, this could just be reconnecting with what you're passionate about, right? Like I said, for those of you who just feel like you're never quite where you hope to be when it comes to finances, it could just be saying that, the key might be to actually reconnect with what actually makes you happy, and to take some time to enjoy the success you do have to this point. And that could be the key to helping you overcome that blockage that you're feeling. All right. In the near future position, we have the Ten of Wands, Sagittarius energy, and Nine of Wands, also Sagittarius energy. So, so this is an interesting mixture here. This is probably the first thing that comes to mind looking at these two cards. Is probably going to sound kind of critical, but it's not necessarily meant to be that way. I just don't know of another way to say it. But it almost feels like looking at these two cards, the first thing that honestly came to mind was like someone burying themselves in their work so much, because if they were to stop, right, or at least to slow that down, because we see going from the 10 to the 9, then they'd be kind of forced to look at, are they actually happy anyway, right? So, like I said, I understand that sounds a little critical. It's not meant to be that way, but that's just what I'm seeing here as a whole. Where it's like, okay, maybe that's why you're always so focused on the work, right? And you guys had Saturn moving through your sixth house for the past couple of years. It's in your seventh now, but it might have just been a habit that you guys worked into during that point. I mean, you still have Pluto there too, so it could just be saying putting so much energy into your work. But then if you were to actually take a step away from that, you might actually come to the realization that you're not actually really happy with what you're doing anyway, especially interestingly enough, given that with these both being Sag energies and the South Node being in Sagittarius, it could just be saying that there might be time for some change there. And for some of you, this might even be something that you were looking at when we had that new moon in your sign recently, which was square Uranus in your 10th house of career and social status. So there could have been at least, that might have brought to the forefront this energy for you guys to reevaluate. Okay, am I actually happy with where I'm at, right? Or have I just been plugging away at this goal that I keep moving to the future, and then, realizing that, okay, by the time I get there, would I actually be happy with it anyway? All right. And I do have to say, to be fair, another way I could see this playing out too could just be saying that the reason why you might take on all this work is because you feel like if you do leave work up to others, that you can't trust them to come through. So it could be a bit of a trust issue there too. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Two of Wands. So yeah, it does look like there's certainly a desire to start something new. And of course, if we put that back in the spread, he's looking towards that Ace of Cups. So yeah, for a lot of you, it could just be that there is an interest in possibly pursuing a romantic connection. And, if that's the case, this is ninth house energy for you guys. So it could just be saying you might be looking at things from a higher perspective, which again, that's the Hermit card definitely gives off that vibe too. So like I said, you could just be looking at, okay, if I were to do this. So I feel like your intentions are 100% pure and on point, where you're like, all right, I want to do this right. Right, totally understandable. You go through a crappy situation, you're like, okay, how about I don't repeat that again, right? So I totally get where you're coming from in that regard, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. All right. In the environment position, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here. Now, I will say the good thing to see with this is to say that that's definitely available to you. It's at play. I feel like it's more of you guys feeling like you're comfortable enough to go that route. But seeing this in your environment does show me that at least it does look like this work that you are doing is actually a good thing, because it actually is going to be the key that gets you to this point. Now, that's, of course, if it's around relationships. If it's around finances, Similar situation here. Like I said, you guys are going to have that full moon in your 8th house of investments. And like we're talking about, we do see Neptune there too. So look out for some insights around that time where maybe you might have an opportunity for some investments that could pay off for you in a good way. Let's see what else comes to mind with this. And I do have to say, for some of you, this could be a evaluation process too, because I mentioned to people sometimes, depending on what else is going on in the spread, when I look at the Ten of Pentacles, traditionally we think of it as all one family, right? But other times I see it as this could be a person here who really focused heavily on their career, right? And then is looking back at a certain point in their life, like, oh, what if, right? What if I did put more energy towards starting a family, things along those lines. So kind of hitting a inflection point where like, do I want to keep doing this or do I want to possibly move in another direction? So that's what I see there. Okay. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, the Three of Wands, Aries energy, and the Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy. So, interesting mixture of energies here. This can just be saying that for some of you, you might just have this fear. Again, I feel like this is kind of like a trust thing, where you have that skepticism. So that could be what's kind of preventing you from pursuing things. And then on the one hand, just saying, okay, you know what, I'm not going to pursue. I'm going to let things come to me. But then at the same time, having a bit of a fear that what does come your way can't be trusted anyway, right? Or again, this could be like a fear that, okay, if I don't constantly work, right, given that we have the Capricorn energy there, which is your 6th house of work, daily routine, we see the Two Pentacles, right, and that infinity symbol. Like, okay, if I don't constantly work, right, and if I do sit back and let the rewards come to me, I have this opportunity of missing out, right? So it could be some things that you guys are reevaluating. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Five of Cups, Scorpio energy, Page of Cups, Seven of Cups, more Scorpio energy, and the Queen of Pentacles. So, interesting mixture of energies here. Now, again, given that we're seeing so many Scorpio energies pop up, for some of you, this can totally be around a family connection as opposed to like a romantic connection where maybe you've been delaying trying to heal a family situation. But interestingly enough, with the Five of Cups immediately followed by the Page of Cups and then the Seven of Cups, it could just be saying that in a way you might actually have the right idea as far as you might not be ready to come forward just yet, right? So you're into disappointment right now, possibly, and maybe there is that desire to fix things, but you might kind of know if you come forward now that maybe the communication, the offer, whatever the case may be, might not be quite at the level you want it to be at, right? There could be some confusion around that because of that. And with the Queen of Pentacles, though, I feel like this is saying that you might get to that point, like, okay, I really want to pursue this, but I don't know, maybe I'm not ready, right? And then I feel like this is saying you guys ultimately would turn back to your work, right? So we already mentioned earlier the theme there, how that could be playing out. Let me see what else comes to mind with this. Now, I do have to say, for others of you too, it could just be saying a similar thing that I felt earlier in the spread as well, which is to say you might actually be a little bit better off than you're thinking you are, right? Like I said, I feel like you might just set this goal really high for yourselves, and then you're just so focused on that goal that if you were to take an actual moment to look at where you're at right now and what you have, you might actually have more appreciation for it than what you think, And again, like I said, with this Ten of Pentacles, another way this could be playing out too is to say that the stability is at play there. But if you truly feel like you're not there yet, then, maybe going through that hermit energy and really looking at the situation would be for the best. But I feel like it's saying that whenever you're ready to come out of that, the stability is actually available to you. So that's a good thing. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here, which is your 10th house of career and social status. Again, like I said, I feel like this is a similar thing. They say that the stability is there for you when you're ready. This is around a work situation. I feel like this is saying that things would be handled fairly. So like I said, if you felt like you just can't rely on other people in your work environment, so maybe you take on more than you should for that reason. I feel like what that could be saying there is to have a little bit more trust in the people in your work environment to actually come through, and they might actually surprise you. All right. So moving on to your oracle cards, we actually had 2 that came up for you this month. First one is Imagine. There's the artwork, and the number is 20. All right, we'll see what it says. Okay, it says turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity, illusions. The oracle's message: who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You are gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What if what you imagine will become your belief? Excuse me, let me start that again. It says, what you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. So, definitely an interesting message there. And that kind of takes me back to some of what I was saying, where I was saying you guys just might be so heavily wrapped up in the work. And I feel like with that 9 of Pentacles in reverse, it was saying the challenge could be to actually take a step back, and try to enjoy where you're at for a moment. And then that could actually be what revitalizes you guys in that regard. And then you could visualize things from there. All right, the relationship message says in matters of the heart, it's easy to daydream about another as a means of connecting to that person. While that's romantic, if you want this relationship to be real, you need to go for it, not just dream about it. Now is the time to move beyond the daydream and into reality, beyond illusion and into fruition. Relationships are about relating, so step out onto the dance floor where imagination partners with manifestation. The message of this card is that a person with attributes you have imagined will enter your life. You'll be changed for the better. Imagine that. So, pretty positive message there, and that takes me back to what I was saying with this card and the environment, saying that the stability is there, the potential for that is there when you guys are actually ready for it. So, hope it resonated with you too. The prosperity message says this is a powerful time to get clear on how you create your prosperity, what it means to you to be prosperous, and what attributes you need to develop in yourself to make things happen. Who do you need to be to live out your dreams? Can you imagine the kind of life you desire? Really imagine it without holding back the sheer force of your powers of creativity? If you can envision it, you can have it. Get ready, for prosperity is waiting for you to claim it now. Act as if. Your dreams really will come true. So, interesting message there too, because like I was saying, I was getting this vibe of a bit of a lack of trust and faith in that regard. So hopefully that resonated with you too. And your next card we have is To the Sea. There we go. And there's the artwork, and the number is 7. So, let's see what that has to say. Okay, it says being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. The oracle's message: isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So definitely a pretty positive message there too, and hopefully that resonated with you. And the relationship message says there are points in a relationship when you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course you share with another. Can you let go of the need to have things your way and allow the relationship itself, your combined goals and desires, to steer the ship? Can you both transcend your personalities and allow the partnership to form its own identity, its own energy? Now is the time to relax and see where this mutual journey leads. So, pretty positive message there. I will say, when it comes to relationships, I don't really feel like you're coming out of a position of ego at all. Like I said, it does look like your intentions really are pure, but I feel like you just might take it a little bit too far this month, but hopefully that resonated with you. All right, and the prosperity message says everything seems to work out when you stop scrambling and allow the sea of opportunities to wash over you and wake you up to your most prosperous potential. To get into that flow, you need to address your beliefs about abundance and money. The true meaning of your personal currency lies in your skills, your talents and abilities, and most important, your core beliefs. Everything flows from your inner world and is reflected in the outer one. When, grateful to serve, you align your prosperity consciousness with a higher consciousness, you can expect miracles. Everything you need will come to you easily. So yeah, again, another pretty positive message there too. Hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we have a Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got this month is the Shakti Mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is inspiration. All right. And there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says calms the mind, relaxes the body, induces sound sleep, reduces cramping of lower abdominal organs, releases pelvic tension, heals physical and emotional trauma associated with unconscious sex and or sexual abuse, opens the doorway to receptivity and intimacy, serves as a powerful connection to the divine feminine, the lunar rhythm, tides, and a myriad of cycles of nature. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description video. As always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.